Samsung. Samsung's market position remains strong, and some efforts have been made to make their range less confusing with the new naming convention and also the new BizB sub-brand for Windows Mobile. There have been some great handsets during 2008 such as the i8510, the Omnia, Pixel and Sol. Samsung are the only mainstream manufacturer to support dual SIM phones, and their vast product range covers almost every imaginable market niche. Unusually, Samsung supports both Symbian and Windows Mobile devices plus its own proprietary operating system. Next year we expect to see Android handsets too. But although the i8510 is possibly a better Nokia than a Nokia, Samsung's Windows handsets look a bit dull compared to HTC. One problem we see for Samsung is image. They have made some really great handsets this year, but even the best of them seem a little dull. Take the Omnia, for example. It's a great phone, but it simply isn't as exciting as the iPhone. To be fair, Samsung have tried to create more of a buzz around their products, and we can only assume that they will keep trying during 2009. LG. 2008 was certainly the year of the touchscreen as far as LG was concerned. A combination of stylish handsets and good marketing have helped to secure a strong market position. In particular, the Secret, Renoir and Cookie handsets are worth noting, although the new KS360 could well be a very different type of handset that will enjoy some success. Despite having a good 2008, there could be some problems in store during 2009. LG's market share is largely based on mid-range fashion phones which could be hit by poor market conditions. Although LG also have plenty of cheaper phones, they don't have the brand recognition of other rivals. LG's efforts in the smartphone market are virtually zero, but perhaps we will see an Android handset later in 2009. LG have done well to carve themselves a particular market niche, but that niche could be under threat. HTC. HTC have received a lot of press attention during 2008 for handsets such as the Touch HD and Touch Diamond, plus the HTC manufactured T-Mobile G1 and Sony Ericsson Xperia X1. Despite this, HTC are a relatively small company concentrating on the upper end of the market. Apart from the G1, all of HTC's phones run Windows Mobile, which makes them a key partner for Microsoft. HTC have also put in some considerable effort to improve the Windows Mobile interface with their TouchFlow software, giving HTC a very strong position in the market. Our big question about HTC is this: why did nobody buy it when they had the chance? You could see that HTC's products would fit in nicely with the product ranges of some of their competitors. Out of the traditional Big Five manufacturers, only Nokia and Samsung are really putting up much of a fight in the smartphone market, so if one of the three others acquired HTC, it could certainly strengthen their positions. The problem is that HTC has grown so large and money is so tight during 2009 that the opportunity has passed. Give it a few more years, and perhaps HTC will end up buying one of the Big Five instead. Research in motion. BlackBerry. Something of a media darling at the moment, RIM broke into a new market with the 9500 Storm, but to very mixed reviews. But RIM have also expanded their more traditional ranges with new handsets in the Curve and Pearl ranges, plus the 8220 Flip. A little like HTC, there are no direct competitors to RIM, but for different reasons. Despite progress in the consumer market, RIM is still a company that sells heavily to corporate customers who want to use the BlackBerry push email solution. As you might expect, BlackBerry devices and the BlackBerry Enterprise server are designed to go together. As a result, partly through inertia, and partly because RIM's products are pretty good, corporate customers tend to stick with their BlackBerry setups. Perhaps the main threat to RIM comes from Microsoft and their push email support for Microsoft Exchange servers. Of course, Microsoft don't make handsets, but there is an enormous choice of compatible devices from different manufacturers, and not just on the Windows platform either. The bottom line is that increased competition for corporate customers means that our IM must target small businesses and consumers in order to grow. The 9500 storm was an attempt at this. Whether or not it succeeds remains to be seen. Apple. The iPhone 3G was just about the bare minimum update for the original iPhone, adding 3G support and GPS and crucially a new application store for buying and downloading software. Apple will need to come up with something even better next year, especially when it comes to the relatively poor camera. There are persistent rumors of an iPhone Nano due next year, basically a very similar concept to the existing phone, only a lot smaller. Even if true, we don't expect to see a proliferation of iPhone models during 2009 with perhaps an iPhone 3 and iPhone Nano turning up at some point. Palm. Palm has a long and extremely complicated history, but it has been struggling financially for some time. Palm recently secured $100 million in funding to keep going. Well known as being one of the great innovators in the PDA market, Palm never managed to repeat its success when it came to smartphones. 2008 hasn't been a particularly notable year for Palm with a handful of devices launched to moderate market success. However, in a couple of weeks' time we expect Palm to announce their new Nova operating system, based on Linux. Nova will give backwards compatibility with older Palm applications while creating a much more modern platform for application development. We are expecting to see some new handsets launched at the same time. So will Palm turn itself around in 2009? Sadly, we don't think so. Nova competes directly against the Android platform, but Android is not tied to any one handset maker. Sure, Palm's new OS can support legacy applications, but that's hardly going to attract new customers. Our verdict: unfortunately, we don't think that Palm will survive 2009.